Have you wondered why sometimes planets seems to move backward in the sky and suddenly your life starts to feel like it is in reverse too? Retrograde planets or Vakri Grahas mainly hold some of your deepest karmic secrets in the astrology, but are they really bad or are they your biggest hidden strength? Stay with me till the end because by the time you finish this video, you will see the retrograde planets in a new way, in a way you have never seen before. When we look at planets from Earth, sometimes they appear to move backward. This is called Vakragati. But you have to always remember that planets never actually go backwards. It is an optical illusion caused by the difference in orbital speeds. Now, according to Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra in chapter 27, Parasara mainly says that Vakri Grahas Falaniyati Balavan, which mainly means that retrograde planets give results with extraordinary strengths. So these planets are not weak. In fact, they act as if they are exalted and their influence becomes more intense in the birth chart. Retrogrades are like cosmic mirrors and they make us reflect, revisit and relearn the karmic themes that our soul still hasn't mastered. So let's move ahead and see how Mercury retrograde will act in the birth chart. Now let's start the video with Mercury retrograde. When the Mercury goes retrograde in the birth chart, the entire world starts talking about it. Emails go missing, phones glitches, and people miscommunicate. But Mercury retrograde is not about chaos. It's about clarity through correction. Mercury represents communication, intellect, and analysis. When it goes retrograde, it forces your mind inward. You begin rethinking your decisions, reanalyzing your plans, and revisiting your learning patterns. According to Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra, a retrograde planet acts powerful. And in Mercury case, this means mental brilliance with depth. Retrograde Mercury natives are deep thinkers, editors of their own ideas, and natural researchers. But karmically, Mercury retrograde often comes when we misused speech or knowledge in a past life. Now, the soul learns to use intellect with integrity. It is not just about thinking fast, but it is also about thinking right. Now, when Venus gets retrograde in the birth chart, Venus, the goddess of beauty and relationship. So this is when the universe asks, what do you truly value? What do you really love? Venus retrograde makes you re-access love, money and pleasure. People from the past may return, unfinished emotions, chapters will get reopened, not to confuse you, but to heal you. Parasara mainly says that retrograde Venus gives a strong yet unusual expression of affection and creativity. These natives mainly crave soulful love rather than superficial attraction. And they may seem distant or complex in relationship, but once they understand their own worth, they become magnetic and deeply loyal. Karmically, Venus retrograde brings lessons about attachment. It teaches that real love is not about possession, it's about resonance. When Mars gets retrograde in the birth chart, you might feel low energy, frustrated, or anger turns against yourself. But here's the truth. Retrograde Mars is not weak, it's strategic. So Parasara says about this Vakri planet mainly is that Mars retrograde gives immense internal power if directed correctly. And these natives don't fight unnecessary battle. They choose their wars wisely. They learn to master impulse, turning aggressions into endurance. Karmically, Mars retrogrades comes when a soul once misused physical or mental strength, maybe acted rashly or harmed others. Now, in this life, you're learning control. The lesson is true power is restraint. So now, when Jupiter gets retrograde in the birth chart, Jupiter mainly governs wisdom, faith, and expansion. When it goes retrograde, outer teacher fades and your inner guru begins to speak. Parasara Muni mainly writes about Vakri Jupiter is that the person learns differently, believe differently, and teach through personal experiences. In karmic terms, Jupiter retrograde indicates that spiritual knowledge or dharma was incomplete in the past life. So now, the soul must find the truth from within, not through institution, but through introspection. These natives will always question dogma, explore philosophy, and may appear unsure about religion early in life. And once they are awakened, their faith will become unshakable. They don't follow spirituality, they live in it. So whenever the Saturn gets retrograde in the birth chart, it is basically the karmic auditor. Responsibility you once avoided will return for completion. In Brihadarashtra Hora Shastra, Saturn retrograde, it's said to test your patience and integrity. Not to punish you, but to refine you. So Saturn retrograde people often feel that life is moving very slow. They will always work harder, wait longer, and carry more duties. But here's the secret. Saturn will always delay, only to deliver perfectly. When the person finally gets succeeded, it's long lasting because they have earned it. So karmically, Saturn return shows unfinished duties. Now you must close those cycles through consistent effort. The lesson in here is what? Time will always rewards your discipline. As Prasara always implies that Saturn never denies, it simply demands. Now, Rahu and Ketu, the lunar nodes which are always retrograde. They always represents your direction, where you are heading and what you are releasing. Rahu retrograde amplifies desires, ambition and obsession. It pushes you to experience material pleasure, social validation and fame, so you can ultimately release their emptiness. Ketu retrograde, on the other hand, detaches you from the old pattern and pushing you towards spiritual liberation. Together, they form the karmic highway. Rahu says, go experience it, while Ketu says, now let go. Parasara mainly teaches that these two shadow planets always moves backward because karmic is cyclic. They remind us that evolution happens not in a straight line but through spiral growth. So let's talk about modern outer planets which are Uranus, Neptune and Pluto. Though Brihadarashtra Hora Shastra doesn't include these three planets, but modern astrology gives these three outer planets collective retrograde meaning. So let's start with Uranus retrograde. So whenever Uranus retrogrades in the birth chart, it mainly challenges you to break free from internal limitations. It's the rebel awakening within. When Pluto gets retrograde in the birth chart, it mainly transforms the soul. It brings internal rebirth through power, control, and surrender. When Neptune gets retrograde, it mainly removes illusion, forcing you to see the truth behind your dream. So one more powerful secret from Parasara, a retrograde planet not only gives results of its own house, but also of the previous house it has crossed. So that's why retrograde often pull up old themes, memories, and people from your past. A retrograde planet always says, before you go ahead, finish what you left behind. And that's exactly what they do. They make you face, fix, and free your old karma. So stop fearing retrograde planets in your birth chart. They are not your curses. They are cosmic teachers. Each retrograde planet will always rewind the time, not to break you, but to build you more stronger. It will always slow down your outer life so you can just reflect in your inner world. So now tell me in the comment section which planet is retrograde in your birth chart, and I will tell you what karmic lesson is refining for you. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my YouTube video and my channel, because astrology is not about fear. It's about your awareness, reflection and evolution. So thank you so much and namaste.